Certainly a very, very tough and difficult year, especially when it comes to those murders. And joining me in studio now to just ask ourselves the question and introspect what has got us here is Benjamin Zulu, who is a clinical psychologist. Thank you for joining us, Benjamin.
Yes,
quite a number of murders there, and I'm sure those who murdered would have, if they're found guilty, but there was death definitely, they probably would want to justify and say they had a reason. How have we got here as a society?
Thank you very much, Bailey, for this opportunity. I think this is a topic that has been on my mind for long. Yesterday, I was talking about on my Facebook page about how to tell whether a loved one, I was referring to suicides. You know, This year we have had suicide and homicides. Today we are talking about homicides. Now, we also have signs on which you can tell a potential homicidal person. Now, umeuliza how we came here, how it has reached here. First of all, you can see most of the perpetrators are men. We have also cases where it's a woman is involved.
But there are more men than women.
Yes,
that are perpetrators.
Men are the ones that are most perpetrated, and women as the victims are most, and also children, because many times they depend on the mother for protection. Tuanze kwa kusema hivi, ati nobody wakes up and kills just like that.
It just doesn't happen.
Doesn't.
But they say sometimes ni kama mtu there's like a fuse that goes off.
That goes off. Before the fuse goes off, there was heat in the room. Okay? So tuanze kwa kusema hivi, people who are potential to kill have signs.
And those are important to know.
Yes. Sign number one is to know that a person who has a controlling nature, they use control. And I don't know who told women to accommodate being controlled. I think we need to announce to women that if you are abused as a child, if you grew up under an abusive and controlling father, they taught you to think that love and being controlled, being abused can coexist. So you tend to accommodate the same coexistence as long as he loves me. Now you accommodate being abused. Those are the women who end up being, victims. So tuanze kwa kusema kwamba people who can kill, you can tell. One of them is a controller tendency. The other thing, to answer your question is, we got here because as a people we are very ignorant, and we like to hope that this person will change. We like to pray and to try advice, try correct. You know, those disasters, we don't think they are possible until they hit home.
But maybe before we move away from controlling,
yes,
what are some of the ways people are controlled? Because the challenge can be control, sometimes manipulation especially, is very subtle.
Yes.
There are times you're being manipulated, but you have no idea.
The ones that are subtle are not as harmful.
Okay.
But the ones we're talking here are the ones that you have to report. They track you. Where are you? And you're an adult. I asked one woman, I was doing a session with her, and the man kept calling, even demanding a video call to see where she was.
Where?
You know, even send me a location. We are in Ngara, and the man is said in Naivasha, and he's saying, "Nitumi hata naweza kuja hapa." So part of it is a person who is tracking you, checking where you are, and you have to keep updating. The other thing is when your language to them stop meaning what it means. Sukuma wiki no longer means sukuma wiki. You have to take a photo and send. To say you're in Nairobi doesn't mean Nairobi. Kusema uko KTN, uko Standard Group doesn't mean that if you have to prove everything you say, you have to report everywhere you are already inside a danger zone. Another sign is a person who controls is a person who says they can't allow you to leave them. That's very important.
That's a key thing to note.
And that's not love. Many women want to convince that to love. And then if a person can use a language like kuua, mi neza ua mtu. Anybody
don't take it for
granted.
Don't
take that for granted. Many women assume that. And people say, me, I cannot allow, you know, there was a guy who was watching news. A couple was watching news. And then a woman who had killed was caught. And then the wife here commented, mimi awange nipata.
That should already tell you that, hey, her mind is already working.
On a potential to do that. You know, the things people say and I told people to value what people tell you when they're angry. What people say when they're angry, they are belonging to tell you that. Anger does not introduce anything new to this person.
It's been playing up in the back of their mind.
Also being drunk. Usimkubalia withdraw chenye alisema in the excuse that I was drunk, I was high.
I was just saying that.
That is already within them. Alcohol and anger don't bring anything new. They just give you the courage or they remove the shame to say it. So the signs of control that you need to check is you are an adult and they're telling you what to wear, the clothes to put on, the hair to put on, And I think for women, I told you the other problem, we have not taught our girls how to date. So they have to sit passively and hope the right guy comes. So if time is going, she's thinking her clock is part and that kid sija and ule amekuja ni sawa tu. So they are forced to compromise.
So how do you teach them how to date? Kwani kuna class ya kudate?
Yes.
Mimi nafikiri ni kitu na you just learn as you go along.
For men, it works because we are the hunters. But for women, we have to teach them how to participate.
How to be dated.
Yes. It's to be able to be visible. They are shopkeepers. They are shopkeepers. They need to open the shop. And many girls tell me, Miss Spend social media, I don't think Facebook is real. That is part of the foolishness that is keeping you wrong. During the dating time, you need to be visible. Kama ako hapa studio ndani, for example, and these two guys, they already taken. So you must make yourself visible. And part of, I tell girls this, if you are passive, the punishment for being passive is utalazimishwa uchukue chenye kimebaki when those who had initiative are through choosing.
Absolutely.
And many of them then they fall in the hands of controllers because time remember. And so our mothers never teach our girls how to date. They just blame them when they are late. Na wewe wanangi mtu sichukue kimtu hapo lete. Ama upate tu mtoto wakati utaishia hapa. They push them, but they never trained them. Amelelewa kuambiwa nikikuona na kijana na kumwaya mguu usirudi hapa uko na tabia mbaya. But a time comes when now she needs to interact with the same vijana who are cast. Men are bad, they'll make you pregnant. You think they can be made pregnant by osmosis. Nilikuona na kijana hapo tatungwa mimba. Kama kuna windy pollination. You know. They are being told scared. So part of the problem is our women who are being victimized are not equipped in the dating market.
Does it matter the background that somebody is coming from? Because you might find that they say, I don't know how true it is, but they say hurt people.
That's right.
People that are hurt tend to hurt people.
And bitter wells produce bitter waters. Mtu ambaye amepitia uchungu. Let's start this, and thank you for bringing that up. Women, I need to talk to women. Stop dating angry men. You better stay alone.
How do I tell an angry man?
You will show it. Many times msicheze na mimi scross yangu hapo. Na kuanga na bad temper. Na naisema ni kama virtue. Anaisifu ni
kama a very good thing.
You know, mimi nakuanga na short temper sana. Scross yangu hapo. That is not right. A man who has anger. I talked with the one lady who just texted me last night. Told me, this guy engaged me and then he went abroad to study. I'm also studying here. But he keeps saying, you know, I need to work on myself. I'm not sure where I am. I'm not emotional. I told her, you are very lucky. He's verbalizing it. I want to announce women to stop waiting for words. Because women stay with abusive people because they're waiting for him to say it. Observe his behavior. If he gets angry and he's shaking and he's sweating, and he kicked the dog.
That's a sign.
He kicked the dog, cursed the waiter, threw money at the conductor, jumped at the car, changed plans. What are you doing with that kind of a man? He can kill you in a flash. Then contrast is some people are very humble, but they're also very angry. Moses was a very humble man, but he also had a temper problem. And that's what prevented him from going where he was going. Moses of the Bible. There are many men who, they look introverted, they look quiet, they look reserved, but they have a lot of problem inside. And I tell women, better to be late and be right than to rush into a relationship. Then you have to rush out if you ever come out at all.
But now, Zulu, the thing is, you'll find that some of these relationships, there are those, of course, where they have manifested and possibly even death has occurred very early. Maybe we're talking about a year, 2 years. But you'll find people who have lived together for 20 years, 25. Then one day something happens and they kill. What happens in that scenario? Because then for the 20 years, did this person just hide their feeling or did something change?
Let me repeat this. Human behavior never happens once. Human behavior always has patterns and progression. The reason is the world comes to hear of the drastic event, but there was a pattern. Why we keep there is we are hoping and we are afraid of change, and we don't want to stir the boat. Sasa hata kama ako hivi nini nitaenda wapi? Let's mention this. Some of our exes or some of the people we stay with, if you have left a person, I tell women this, many times after you left them, they are on their way down. They have deteriorated farther from where you left them. Then you come out here, you fear the change, then you start going back to them. And they are now more toxic than when you first left. Ama, you married a person and you realize this was a mistake. This person is violent. This person has anger. This person is, unfaithful. They want to control me. But you're saying, I'm already inside, I can't come out. It's better to be divorced than to be dead. It is better to be alone and be safe than be abused. You had that guy who burnt the woman with petrol. That was not even covered in a white article today. There are so many cases you could cover all of them. You couldn't cover all of them. Absolutely. Some of them are so brutal, you're wondering, how did we get here? We need to tell women that a man who can threaten you, who can demean you in front of people. Kuna wengine wanakujiwa kanisani ama mbele ya watu. na anakujiwa na you know, and
Just
wisdom.
you get out, let's go home now.
You know, anakomandiwa kama mtoto.
That's a dangerous man.
First of all, women who accommodate abuse, they have already lost respect for themselves. By the time mtu akwambia toa hiyo nywele wiki ingine, you should get angry, you should be annoyed. Ulinipata nikiwa mtu mzima. Mimi si mtoto anymore. This is an arrangement of mutual interest. Marriage is not a master-servant relationship. We need to register that. And girls of abused mothers, so mothers stay under abuse na kuambia mwanamke ni ndoa, kushikilia ndoa, mwanamke ni ndoa. Mwanamke si ndoa. Don't copy what your mother did. Maybe she had no options. I mean, today I learned it. They have jobs. Some of our mothers had no other options. They stayed there because they were really in a financial captivity. They did not have a way to raise these children. Today, our girls are not getting 10 children. They just get 2 and they can survive. So value your safety above others. Anasema, kama the Nanyuki case I suspected, ni ile desire ya kupeleka watoto wakaone baba yao. Let's tell women that children don't need their father. It's not oxygen. They need safety. And they are safer with you. Stop keeping a toxic man around in the name
For the sake of the children.
No. Our children, and let me speak on behalf of children. I'm doing a lot of counseling children again. That tension, that sickness between the connection between the two of you is more harmful. It were better they were with one parent. How many of us grew up with one parent and we are okay? We did not get hit, we did not get, but seeing your mother crying every day.
But of course, this what we're talking about is where the relationship is toxic. We're not saying that children don't need both parents, where the relationship is...
Thank you for balancing that.
Yes.
A father is very essential in our lives. We need both parents. I remember also I said about girls that it's not the mirror that tells you who they are, it's their father. The father sets the standard that you're a valuable woman.
Absolutely.
And all that. And a man is mentored by another man. But we are saying if you have to choose between safety, life, and having the man in your life, better to be alone.
Choose safety.
Yes.
Choose safety. All right, now one of the things that I think we must agree is that we've seen an upsurge of young men that cannot either take a no from a woman. Case in point, there's a lady there who apparently the boyfriend suspected was cheating on him and as a result went and killed her. And we've seen an upsurge of young men that
The high school case down here.
Somehow there's just something that has gone wrong. In the day and age we grew up, if a girl said no, as much as it may have been shameful to you, there was a way to deal with it. But that seems to have changed. How do we overcome that? And how does one identify that their son is in that category?
Fragile ego. We are raising men with fragile ego.
Correct.
With poor identity. They attach their sense of self-worth to achievements, to convincing a girl, to getting a marks in school, to getting a contract. That's why they do those drastic things. How to identify a child who cannot take a no, or a boy who cannot, or a man who cannot take a no from a woman? Naturally, they have a pushy tendency. I want you to know that they are killing to make sure even if they can't.
If they don't get you, nobody else will.
That's it. So this was a controller from the onset. You could tell how they get angry when you tell them no on normal occasions. Could it be sexual advances or anything? You need a person who has enough respect, enough security to negotiate. These people who kill others don't negotiate. And I've met many women, and they're saying it like a normal thing. Huyu akisema ulizangu hata apendi kuulizwa, akisema ni hivyo tu, inabidi tufanye.
Lazima iende hivyo.
Why are you living with that? That could go all the way to hurting you badly. A man who cannot say no to who cannot take a no from a woman usually would not take no from a waiter, from a conductor. It's not that element alone. You could see it in other elements. And I tell people, in dating, check the small details. They're the ones that reveal character. So it's part of to know that huyu mtu akona enough security to be able to negotiate.
Is this a result of maybe upbringing? Maybe their parents never denied them anything, so they're not used to the word no.
That could be part of it. They're so insecure that they have not been affirmed who they are. And one thing I tell people is, even if we marry, I will tell you the truth. Even if you are my girlfriend, I'll tell you the truth that I love you so much, but I don't want you to depend. I don't want you to depend so much on me that without me you lack your sense of stability. These boys, these men lack a secure sense of stability, and they're getting it from that other person. So a person who has a very low self-esteem will have two ways. Either akikataliwa akajiue, ama uwe ule, ama uwe wote. Ama afanye something.
Hata yeye mwenyewe ajiue.
You can predict that before it happens by seeing a person who is unable to lose. I tell people that my favorite boxer, Mike Tyson, was so good in victories, but he became so addicted to winning that when he lost, he couldn't stand
He couldn't
it.
handle.
When he lost to a worthy contender, he met one contender who was called Evander Holyfield. You might remember the history. And this was a learning moment. So I tell parents that when holidays come, don't let your boys go play PlayStation the whole day. Take them to mentorship forums. Camps, attach them to a professional like me, attach them to a person. I don't know how many boys you're mentoring. I hope parents have attached some boys to you just on a phone call or something. Or he is coming around, check. Because you're a man who can interact kidogo tu na kijana, you can tell a few things. By his opinions. A potential killer has a violent opinions.
Naturally.
Normally, unapata tu kitu tu anasema mimi ukinifanyia hivyo nakugonga sana.
All right, we are running out of time.
Yes.
Solutions. Some of these boys might be watching, some of these parents who have boys or children who have those tendencies might be watching. What's their hope for them? Because we cannot just demonize and say that, they're completely useless for society. We cannot use them, completely live without them, because again, that aggravates the whole situation.
One solution is to know that everybody has a potential. The way to help them is I tell parents to outsource, to get help for kids. Ukiona huyu akona symptoms, ako withdrawn, akona fits of rage, ameingia kwa drugs, suddenly drop in class, isolate, get help. Don't start just hoping. And getting help means you can connect them with a professional or a person who can help them. Sometimes we cancel on live, others we cancel on phone. Get them to a camp, do something. Don't just sit there. Try to engage them in a conversation. Ukiona anakulock away, still try. Can I give my contacts away through?
No, not yet through, but we'll come to that. I was going to now ask, in terms of now seeing, how do I identify, somebody who can give me help? Because not everybody can help.
That's right. And let's start by saying that many of us belong to churches, and every problem we take to pastor. It's good. There's a part for prayer. There's a part for our faith. But don't stop there. A psychological problem needs a psychologist to help. So parents contact psychologists. Now please, ukileta vijana kwetu usimwambie na kupelekea psychologist. That doesn't sound well with boys.
They don't like to be told they're being helped.
Yeah, and the term psychologist, they associate with the psychopathology, like kama ameugua kichwa.
Amechizi. Ni kama amechizi.
Just tell them there's a mentor. Use a more friendly word, which they're used to. I want you to talk to, have connected with him. That's better. Don't make it sound, unaona vile anambia nakupeleka kwa cancer. Now you're putting like a punishment. No,
absolutely.
Put it like a friendly thing. You are doing well, and I know you can do better even with more help from, and all that. So get a professional, and prayer is there, but counseling has its own place. And Kenya, we have not used how to invest in mental health. We don't even budget for it. Some people think we cancel for free. I ask them, how can a professional work for free? How do they live themselves?
How do they live? Absolutely. And that's an area that I think we really need to highlight, the question of mental health, because there is the misconception that any mental illness that one has ni kuchizi, which has a negative connotation.
Thank you.
Such that even people who would want to seek help would sometimes resist from even making it public, because people will think, am I mad? Whether it's depression, whether it's anger.
Let's announce this. In that post yesterday, I was saying that people who have depression are not mentally weak. They are just sick. Don't ask them. You just snap out of it. Why are you stressing yourself about life? Your life is better than many other people. Other people went through that. Don't think that depression is just self-pity. It's an emotional illness. Let's normalize mental health so that we can now handle it. When you find somebody who has typhoid or malaria, you don't start, why are you now looking, you don't ask them about that. You just empathize with them. And
you give them medication if they need.
So let's grow. Those of us who are enlightened, let's help the rest. To say that, mtu ambaye akona anxiety, akona depression, akona post-traumatic stress disorder, they have gone through trauma. Somebody has gotten a baby and they are now going through depression. That's a human experience. Na kama ni mwanaume uzumwambie man up. Depression or mental health is not a woman affair, it's a human affair. This is a human being. Instead of asking them to man up, ask them to open up. Boy, can we talk? Over a few, I have not heard from you, man. Alikuwa anapenda football, sasa hata hana interest.
Hana interest.
You should be more concerned kumwambia, boy, can we talk? Na unamkiwa tu mahali mkikula nyama ama mkikunywa chai, check on them, man. Tell you can, sometimes you can suspect what's going. They are going through a breakup, or they have lost a job. Something's happening.
A business has crumbled.
Yes, that is something that you know. Where are you with that? Sometimes I do that with men without introducing myself. It's like just a conversation. And I end up helping many of them. But I said the caregiver, either the wife or, the father.
Somebody
or
close
the mother,
to them.
Needs to connect that person to a person who can help them. Many of those I've been told to travel to see a Form 4 boy by parents who are enlightened. Say, this boy is not okay. Check out on him. And they're able to facilitate that. So I ask parents to be willing. It's better to invest to treat the person than to have to do crisis management way later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We are now at the end, and I'm giving everybody an opportunity to give their New Year wishes. Come 3, there is your camera, the 103 right there. And on that, you can also let us know how to contact you should somebody want more help and more advice how to get you. But you can start with the message for the new year.
Okay, I know we make resolutions for New Year, but I want to warn you that New Years don't bring energy to carry out decisions. There is no flash of inspiration just because it's 1st January. You'll be the same person. How many New Years have you seen before? The thing that will change your life is the decisions you made and you abide by them. You can always start a new year, even 3rd July or 19th November, anytime you make decisions and abide by them. So as this new year begins, I encourage you to value decisions and a new direction for your life over celebrations and festivities. And if you have been having a mental health affair, emotional, you have been down or you've been having anxiety, remember mental health does not take a holiday. Even during these holidays, you could be stressed. You need to withdraw, go cry alone. If you suffered grief and you're being reminded by this holiday, but you lost someone, I still feel you. My contact, zulubenjamin@gmail.com. That's the Gmail. Facebook, Zulu Benjamin page. zulubenjamin@gmail.com, Zulu Benjamin page. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zulu Benjamin, for joining us this morning. We wish you a happy new year.